Okay, well, our next class is called Building a Bold Team. The objective of this class is to inspire you to be bold in your thinking and in your actions when you are building your team and growing a unit of your own. It is to give you a vision of what your success could look like and share tips. And she's going to share her tips. How do you read it backwards?
That's all right.
Learn along the way to help you achieve your goal of possibly debuting as a sales director. So let me introduce our next speaker. This sales director began her Mary Kay business in March of 1999 and debuted as a sales director in November 2000. Have you guys noticed it's typically pretty fast? She's been in the court of personal sales 9 times, in the court of sharing 5 times. Good job, friend. And in the circle of achievement once, and has earned the use of 8 career cars. I know, 8 career cars. Think of it. Car payment. She didn't have it. She's been a star consultant for 57 quarters. She's earned 17 gold medals. Her highest monthly check is $6,536. Ladies, please welcome Independent Sales Director Susan Fischer.
Thank you so much. Wow, this is exciting. I'm having a great time. Are you ready to have your mind stretch? Okay, first I'm going to start with my I story. And in my I story actually are some lessons for you, and then I have some tips for you as well. So you're going to want to have a pen and paper handy. Whew, this is scary. Out of my comfort zone just a little bit, but I'm just looking at you and telling myself things while I'm looking at you. My job is to give you some hope today. By me sharing my story, I hope that I let you know that you can do this if I can do it. I started my business in 1999 in Indiana. I'm from Michigan, but my husband's job took us to Indiana. And my very first makeover, my girlfriend Kathleen called me and she said, "Sue, I have won a Mary Kay makeover from a fair, and the girl's going to come over and you need to be here because I don't know if she's going to be weird or not." And so as a good girlfriend, I said, yes, I'll be there. But honestly, guys, I didn't want to go. I had 3 small kids and I didn't wear makeup and I wasn't really interested, but I told her I would go. A couple days later, I get a phone call from the beauty consultant, Jamie, and she was so sweet on the phone, and she talked to me and she asked me questions about my skin and really cared about me. And I said, yes, I'll be there. And so then I kind of had to go because I'm a woman of my word, and for 4 days I tried thinking how maybe I wouldn't go to this. Can anybody relate to this? Okay, so one pre-profile that will help your attendance, because if she hadn't done it, I might not have gone. So I went to my makeover, and you guys, I loved it. I felt beautiful, I loved the products. Guess what I purchased?
Nothing.
Someone said starter kit, someone said $100.
Zero.
Goose egg, nothing. Have you ever had a 0 appointment? If you haven't, you will, it's all right. You might get me. So, not that I didn't love the product, we just were really tight with money at the time. And so I came home and my husband's like, "What'd you buy?" And I said, "Nothing." He's like, "Why?" A couple weeks later, I did start to purchase from Jamie. Now, I was an x-ray tech and I started working at the same hospital where Jamie was working. And I heard her talk about Power Start. Power Start. I need to do my Power Start. And I said, "Well, you could use my face again." Go give. I'm like, "Sure, I'll let you use my face again." And so I had my second facial with my beauty consultant, Jamie, who also was an x-ray tech at the hospital with me. And I invited my neighbor, Kathleen, to come back. So I had my makeover, I started purchasing some, I did order that night, but I heard some whispering. And I heard Kathleen and Jamie talking about agreement and getting started and training. And I went, "Kathleen, you're going to become a Mary Kay consultant." And she said, "Yeah." And then I was kind of waiting for Jamie to ask me, and you guys, she did it. And for a couple weeks, I thought, why didn't she ask me? Well, why not? My feelings were really hurt. So you guys offer it to people. It's up to them to say no if they don't want to do it, but you don't know. And I remember thinking about, maybe I should do this. I hadn't even been asked, but I thought, I would lay there at night and I'd say to my husband, I wonder if I should do this. I wonder who I'd sell to. I wonder if I'd be any good. And he was so encouraging. His words to me were, you're driving me crazy. It's a $100 decision. If you want to do this, try it. If you like it, great. If not, you can quit. And I went, oh, he's so smart. So I called Jamie up and I said, Jamie, I would like to become a Mary Kay consultant too. And she went, all right. And so I signed my agreement and I got started. Now, I was never going to have a party though. I really don't like pushy salespeople, so I was just going to maybe service a few friends and family. I hear some laughter, so some of you maybe said the same thing. But my senior director is Nancy Castro, the awesome Nancy Castro from Janesville, Wisconsin, and she said to me, that's fine if that's all you want to do, but you should do your Power Start. Just do a Power Start once. I said, Power Start? What's that? And she said, 30 faces in 30 days. And I'm thinking, I know 4 people in Indiana. One was my pastor's wife who told me, oh, don't do this Mary Kay thing. Nobody makes any money. And be careful who you listen to. That's the other thing. Only take advice from somebody who maybe you would change places with. Because she meant well, but she didn't have all the information. She's the same person who 9 months after I started, we earned our first free car, and she said, I knew you'd be so good. And I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't listen to you. And so we were in Indiana, we drove up to Michigan, and my husband went back to Indiana for work, and my girls and I, my girls were 2, 4, and 10 when I started. So I didn't know a lot of people, 4 people. I didn't wear makeup. Matter of fact, I didn't like women. Remember, I worked at the hospital, and women at the hospital were not very nice. And so I was borrowing my in-laws' car, my parents' car, and doing my Power Start. Lots of zero facials in there. It's okay. And my very first party was my sister-in-law. And I get to her home. Now, this was like 13, 14 years ago. Is there anybody here that has been in a while? Okay, do you remember, like, our starter kit kind of looked like a mad scientist kit? We had all these test tubes and things. And so I get to her home and I look down and I realize instead of having 3 bags that I normally would carry with me, I had my bag with my cleansers, moisturizers, foundations, those type of things. I had a bag with my mirrors and my glamour, and I had a bag with my sales tickets, profile cards, beauty books. I looked down and I went, Heather, that's my sister, and I said, I don't have my bag with my cleansers, moisturizers, masks, toners, foundations. I can't do this. And you guys, that's when doubt really set in. I was really, really, really scared. And I started saying, why did I think I could do this? I don't need this. This was silly. Why did I quit? Why did I even try to do this? I don't need this. This Power Start thing, it's kind of hard. And I remember thinking, I like my job as an x-ray tech. And I did like it, you guys. I really got to help people, but most people don't like their x-ray tech. You're there because you're hurt, or you're there because you need a test done. And I tried telling myself, I love doing IVPs and barium enemas. I love this. And I thought, no, I know, I really don't. And so I looked at my sister-in-law and I told her I don't have this. And she looked at me with, I'm not sure exactly the look she had. Kind of like, gosh, I can't believe you didn't remember that, but don't worry. She grabbed my shoulders and she kind of just looked me straight in the eye and she said, I am not losing another consultant. They move or they stop doing this. You are going to be my consultant and you're going to do this. She ran into her bathroom and she was using number 2 products. So everybody that night, all 10 women, were a number 2 and a buff diary. I sold $300 and decided I could do this. So if you've ever forgotten some of your stuff, it's okay. Just do with what you can do. Did you forget something?
Oh, I did.
Oh yeah. Hey, you can be up here. So I decided if you're number 3, if you're oily, you want number 3. If you're dry, you want number 1. If this isn't the right color, we'll find it for you. And so, again, aren't I giving you guys hope? Yeah. Okay, good. I listened listen to my senior director. I would say listen to your director. Respect the position. She doesn't give you a challenge or an idea just for the heck of it. She does it because she has your best interest in mind. Okay, I'm going to vision cast with you now. Can any of you see yourself in my story? Can you see yourself having that doubt? Okay, you can. All right, good. That confusion, that you feel inadequate. You're like, oh my gosh, I've made so many mistakes. Have you ever said, oh, this is really hard. I don't need this. Don't believe those lies, you guys. Don't believe it. I want to stretch your brain, and I want you to think bigger with me for a few minutes. And I want you to close your eyes, and everybody do it. No cheating. Close your eyes. I want you to dream and think of the biggest Mary Kay goal you have for your business. The biggest one, and I hope you're smiling. Some of you are not smiling, so if you're dreaming really big, you're smiling. You're doing really good over at that table to my far right. Lots of smiles. So dream big for your business. What does success look like for you? Keep your eyes closed. Is it your red jacket if you're not in your red jacket yet? Is it the use of a free Mary Kay car? Is it to become a sales director and even do that by leadership time? Okay, keep your eyes closed. If your goal is to be in your free car, who's going to be with you when you pick it up? What dealership are you going to? What does it smell like? You know that new car smell, and you promised you were never going to eat or drink in that car? See how long that lasts you? Okay, then open your eyes. Do you have that dream? Okay, make sure you write it on your piece of paper and you share it with somebody, because that's really your dream. Think back to why you signed your beauty agreement. For me, it was to make a little bit of extra spending money, not really to do very much. Now, I love working with other women and mentoring women. When the company asked me to do this today, I was so honored and excited to be able to share a few things with you. And honestly, I'm almost nauseous right now. Just so you know. Vision casting. Do you see yourself as a leader? Will you lead by example? Do you envision the team you're going to have? What the women are going to look like on your team? Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Can you feel the excitement of promoting yourself? Feel what it's going to feel like to have that free car. Feel like it's going to feel like to wear that director's suit. How about going to New Orleans with us in a few months? They've been spending time in New Orleans with being mentored by leaders and big thinkers. Can you guys imagine that? Can someone in this room imagine that? Okay, yay! All right, things that help me along the way. These are some things that you might want to write down. At every skincare class, every facial, I always ask, I incorporate these 4 questions so that my customers are thinking about maybe they could do what I do. I always ask, number 1, are you paid what you're worth? In your current job, are you paid what you're worth? Or are you paid what the company or the position says that you get paid? Are you paid what you're worth? Number 2, do you have all the flexibility that you want? Do you have all the flexibility? Can you just take off for a daytime or the afternoon if you want to? Number 3, do you get praise and recognition? Do they say, man, you are doing a great job, we appreciate you? Do we just not love that about Mary Kay? When I worked as an X-ray tech, if we got a ham or a turkey at Christmas, we were lucky. And I was thankful because it fed my family for a few days. But praise and recognition, I mean, you guys just heard diamond rings and cars, and if it's here for me, it's here for you. And the last thing I ask is, if you give your current job your guts, can you change your financial situation? Can you really make a difference? Did you guys get those, or do you need to repeat them? Last one. If you give your current job your guts, can you change your financial situation in, say, 2 years? You would be surprised if you start asking these questions at the beginning of every appointment, because there's somebody, I can guarantee you, at that skincare class thinking, I don't know how I'm going to pay this next month. My boss hasn't told me thank you in so long, I don't even know. Number 2, things that help me along the way, power start. I will speak this, my unit members are right there. I will speak this till I am blue in the face. There is power in the power start. 30 faces in 30 days. Doesn't matter to me how you do it, individually, in groups of 3 groups of 10, or 10 groups of 3, whatever that looks like. And share the information with everyone that you want to share the information with. There is strength in the Power Start. When you do a Power Start, you will sell enough product to be a star consultant, you will have future bookings, and you will have people to share the career information with. And the company also has, you guys, I know I've heard 3 plus 3 plus 3. Pretty much, thank you, bless you. Same thing as a Power Start. 3 classes a week, 3 interviews a week, and $300 in sales. The other thing is when you do a Power Start, you can't do a Power Stop. Like you can't do one Power Start and then 6 months go by. If you're really wanting to grow up, you need to do them over and over and over, and consistency is the key. Okay, number 4 things I learned that along the way that helped me: continue learning. You guys being here is amazing. There are a lot of places you could be, so I applaud you for being here. What are you reading? Leaders read. Have you guys ever heard that? Leaders read. And so what are you reading right now? What are you listening to? What are you filling your mind up with? We have the Silver Wing Scholar Program. We have the Power Class of the Month. And also when you're listening to things, so many times I've gotten motivational things, and have you ever gotten it and it's not very motivational, it's kind of depressing and down? I don't know if that's ever happened to anybody, but make sure what you're listening to excites you and pumps you up. As you build your team, take people with you when you do appointments. You will earn while they learn. Do you achieve company challenges in your director's challenges? Are you always a star consultant? And is that your goal? Are you organized and prepared? And do you bring guests to events? Success, I believe, is hidden in your daily activity. And are you disciplined? Are you going to do what you need to do when you need to do it so that you can do the things you want to do when you want to do them? When I was a beauty consultant, I held skincare classes, and lots of them. After that first one, and I realized I could make a pretty decent income in about 2 hours compared to a whole shift at the hospital. I didn't have to be super intelligent to realize this is where I wanted to be and not be away from my 3 girls. When I was a beauty consultant, my goal in a skincare class was to sell sets, book 2 or more follow-ups, and pick at least 2 people to share the career information with. Now my goal as a director is to pick at least 2 people to share the career information with, book at least 2 follow-ups, and then sell. Does that make sense? Okay. One more time, sure. As a beauty consultant, my goal was to sell sets, S-E-T-S, book 2 follow-ups, and pick at least 2 people to share the career information with. And now as a director, I still do the same thing, but I have like a little bit reverse order. I'm looking for those 2 women to share the career information with. I'm looking for 2 more follow-ups, and then selling the product. The product sells itself, it's phenomenal. Obviously, if I didn't really have the right stuff the first party, the product is phenomenal. Okay, I always use my flip chart or my instructor's guide. Is there anybody here who uses their flip chart or instructor's guide? Okay, good. If you don't, I really encourage you to do that. You could probably call me at 2 o'clock in the morning, wake me up from a dead sleep, and I could go into my whole skincare because I'm so used to doing it. I've done it over and over and over. But if I'm reading from this and I'm looking at it, you might be watching me saying, gosh, I think I'd like to do what she does, but I could never remember all of that information. If you guys are just reading this, then I've had people sign up with me because they're like, you just stood there and read that book. Like, yeah. So, I mean, we know that there's a little bit more to it than that, but it gives them an encouragement to try when maybe they wouldn't. And excitement usually comes after doing the work. Most of you are not super excited to do the work, but then once you do the work, the excitement comes. Would you guys agree with that?
Yep.
Okay. When I do a career chat, I would encourage you just to really ask her lots and lots of questions. Find out what's in it for her. What is she looking for, and how Mary Kay can help her with that. Where do you find team members? Do you guys ever want to? Okay, I see the whites of your eyeballs when I said that. Where do you find team members? You guys, they're everywhere. Everywhere. Leslie, will you stand up for a minute, please? Give her a round of applause. This is Leslie. I met Leslie at a women's event, a ladies' night out at the Moose Lodge. You standing? Bonnie, stand up. I know she's really uncomfortable now. Bonnie, I met her at a skincare class. And Kathy, go ahead and stand up. Kathy knows Bonnie because she's her girlfriend. Nancy Madigan, would you stand up? I met Nancy Madigan at Discount Tire. Delivering a 12 Days of Christmas basket to the guys that we bought new tires from. Okay, you guys can sit down. Give them a round of applause. Awesome. I meet a lot of people at skincare classes. The great thing with the skincare class is they see what you're doing. When Jamie facialed me, I saw that she was working on Power Star, so I'm like, okay, I want to do a Power Star. When she had the inventory, then I'm like, yes, I want to have that inventory. It's really easy to recruit from your skincare classes. But people are all over the place. Most recently, I got a phone call last week and I was about 30 minutes from home, and it's the phone call that every mother dreads. And it was our athletic trainer at the high school saying, Sue, you need to get here right away. Kelsey was injured in a volleyball practice. And I'm like, all right, this has happened before. She's had a concussion before. And so I'm like, all right, I'm on my way. Driving back to Fenton, just hoping I would not see an ambulance going the other side of the expressway, just praying, God, to just let me get there to ride with her because I know she's going to be really, really afraid. And then they would call me through this procedure saying, yep, we're calling the ambulance, and all of these things that go with it. I can't tell you the thoughts that I had, but as we got there, I was able to meet the ambulance. We went up to the hospital, and they're doing the triage on her, and the nurse doing the triage stuff, they need to take her smelly, yucky volleyball socks and shoes. And if you know sports players, you know how yucky that is. And I'm like, I got this for you. And she goes, oh, okay. And then she's asking questions and I'm answering her. She goes, you have medical background. Obviously, you have worked in the medical field. And I said, yes, I have. And I was an x-ray tech for many, many years. And she said, okay, so she's answering me questions, and then they're looking at Kelsey, answering her questions for the concussion that she obviously has suffered. And the nurse is triaging her, and she's asking me questions, and she goes, well, you don't do this anymore. And I'm like, no, I actually am a beauty consultant with Mary Kay Cosmetics, and I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, and I'm not looking this way. I hadn't planned on going to the hospital that day. And she's asking me questions, and she goes, wow, do you love what you do? And I said, yes, I love what I do. And she's like, I just don't like my job at all. I said, I know, I probably wouldn't like this either. I did this is not a fun job. And she said, no, but it's getting worse with all the changes in healthcare. And she goes, and she just went on, I just don't like this at all. And I said, well, since Kelsey's like being okay right here, would you be offended if I give you my card after we put in all of the information in the computer? And she's like, no, I really love that, and I'll give you my number. So you might sit here thinking, how could she even be thinking of Mary Kay when her daughter is on this bed? I knew that she'd be okay, and I knew they were working on her, and we had her in the best hands, and we've had concussions, and honestly, she will not remember this conversation anyway, because she's concussed, and she still doesn't remember the hospital, she doesn't remember our pastor. What she does remember is her mom was in the ambulance. And her mom was there to take her to the doctor appointment on Monday, and I'm there to take her to the doctor appointment Wednesday, and I'm there to take her to go into school late because her head hurts, and as we heal through this process. So I don't recommend that you have an injury and go look for nurses in the hospital, but if the situation arises, then you can share that. But what if I can help that woman with her job that she does not like at all? Okay. I wasn't sure if I could get through that, but I did okay.
Yeah, you did.
There's lots of ways to meet people. There's Facebook booking, there's newlywed bookings, there's bridal leads, there's warm chattering, there's booking from your classes. There is no right or wrong way. It's what's right for you. Just do it. If you need more names and need more people, more people need to meet you, and you, and you, and you. When you're sharing the information, you're going to share the information with somebody, ask yourself 2 questions. Do you like her? Because if you don't like her, do not offer this opportunity to her. But do you like her, and does she like Mary Kay? You get to pick who you work with. People will book with you and purchase from you because they like you. Would you guys agree? Yes. Okay. They will join your team because of the opportunity and the potential that the company offers. But you have to be approachable. You have to be real. I have to tell you, last night I was this is way, way out of my comfort zone to be up here with you guys, way, way out. And I typed everything up and I was just gonna stand behind this podium and read it. And I practiced in front of my husband and 3 daughters who were 2, 4, and 10 when I started. They're now 16, 18, and 25. And my husband stopped me after paragraph 2 and he said, "You've lost me. You need to write this and just tell your story. You need just to talk. You don't need to hide behind this platform and just you share you." So this is way, 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 way different than what it was going to be until last night at 8 o'clock. Look for women who want more, need more, and who are willing to do the work. Now, you might find a lot of women that you run into that want more and need more, but the other part of that 3-legged stool is they have to be willing to do the work. And it does take work. So if one of them's missing, you're not going to be as successful as you could be. Look for women who want more, need more, and who are willing to do the work. I have 10 tips for you from Kathy Halou to get you through DIQ. It all rhymes. I didn't even know that. Am I doing okay for time? Okay. I talk fast. In Michigan, we talk fast because it's usually cold. Okay, so Kathy Halou, and I would agree when I read these, the company really wanted me to share these with you, and I'm like, yeah, I did that. I can see how that would help. So number 1, make the decision to go for your goal, whatever that is. Make the decision. Number 2, go to work. Focus on team building appointments. Go to work. Number 3, share your vision, excitement, and sense of urgency. Share your vision, excitement, and sense of urgency. Number 4, attend every event with guests. Your Monday night meetings are a great place. You can sell product, you could get bookings, you might even get some team members when you bring guests to your meeting. Number 5, be accountable to your director. Check with her, let her know what you're doing. Number 6, believe you can. Believe you can do it. Number 7, get support from your family. Support from your family. Yep. Number 5, be accountable to your director. Number 6, believe you can do it. Number 7, get support from your family. Number 8, set priorities to reach your goal. Set priorities to reach your goal. Number 9, do what is necessary. Do what is necessary. And number 10, ask for referrals from everyone. Ask for referrals from everyone. Did you get all those? 4, attend every event with guests. 2, go to work. Guys, go to work! Okay, and we're gonna get really very, very bold. Are you ready to be very bold? Do you feel like if Sue Fischer can go into a skincare class and forget all her skincare supplies that you can do this?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, 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 yes. Do you think that a Sue Fischer who didn't like women and didn't wear makeup that did this, that you could do this? Okay. Okay, we're gonna think crazy bold. Are you ready to think crazy bold? Crazy bold. What if you could not fail? What would you do? Write it down. Write it down. Not just be successful is good, but write it down. What if you knew you could not fail? What would you do? Are you going to be in your red jacket this month? If you're not in it already? Are you going to go on Target for your car? Are you going to be at DIQ? Or are you going to join me in New Orleans in January? If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? And write it down. Next, what is your biggest dream for your Mary Kay business? How big can you think? It doesn't matter what the numbers say. It doesn't matter what uniform or whatever that you're wearing. What is your biggest dream? And write that down. There are 80 days left from now to December 31st. 80 days. That's 1,920 hours. So however you want to look at it, 80 days or 1,920 hours. What if you started to think boldly, to believe you can accomplish your dream? Red jacket, car, DIQ, directorship. And then, just to humor me, because I always wanted to do this, I've been coming to American events now for over 13 years, and they always would have this really cute acronym. So you write 80, E-I-G-H-T-Y, vertical. I have something for you. E-I-G-H-T-Y, 80. There's 80 days from tomorrow to December 31st. E stands for excuses, and then do a big zero and put a line through it. No more excuses. We all have them. You all could have found a reason not to be here today, but you didn't. You chose to be here. No more excuses. I stands for inspire. You need to get inspired if you're not already inspired. Hopefully by the time you leave here, you will be so inspired you won't even really need your car to get home. Inspire. G stands for gold medal this month. We even said how many gold medals, like, Stacey, I had no idea. You just do it, right? You just do it. So gold medal. Who here has ever gold medaled? Yay! If you gold medal this month and gold medal next month, that's 10 new.
Tell us what it is.
Oh! Well, okay, thank you for asking. A gold medal is when you add 10 women to your team in a month. Sorry, 5. 10 sounds really good, doesn't it? I think so. It's 5. 5 new agreements that go in a month. So if you gold medal in October, that's 5, and you gold medal in November, that's 10. Guess what? You're going to New Orleans. Right? Yeah. H, hold skincare classes. Lots. H, hold skincare classes. Lots. Lots. T stands for team build. Offer the opportunity. Team build. And Y stands for you. You decide where you're going to be in 80 days. Are you going to be at the same place that you are right now on October 12th? Or are you going to promote yourself and move to a new level? I'll repeat them once more really quick. E is excuses, and put a zero in a line. No more excuses. We've all got them. I stands for inspire. You need to be inspired. G, gold medal. It's either 5 or 10 agreements in a month. And just kidding, it's 5. This month and next month. H, hold skincare classes. T, team build. Offer the opportunity. And Y, you decide where you'll be in 80 days. The same place or somewhere different. Remember, you have to ASK to GET. You have to ask before you get. Don't be afraid of hard work, ladies. It always pays off. Always. We have all felt afraid. All of us. Every single person in this room. If you're breathing, you have felt afraid before. But fear keeps life small. Fear keeps life small. Trust every hour of every day. God is bigger than anything you face. Know that He made you, and you are enough. Be bold in your thinking. Dream you can do it. Take action. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. I'll see you in New Orleans. Thank you for listening.